We got some crazy stuff going on. I don't have none of that. I don't have no crazy stuff. I have no crazy stuff. I got crazy hair.
I got crazy hair. You just can't see it. You got to be up close.
You gotta be cool.
There's things going on with this hairline right here.
That's okay. It's okay. Girl, this. Look, I'm Miss Tabitha Brown right here. Tabitha has brought me Donna's recipe. Y'all go get this shit. Giving me life. Giving me life. Hello, everyone on my Instagram. Hi, guys. Hello.
I'm back.
We can't see you. Everybody, we late. We late. People probably think the show ain't coming on, but we coming. We coming.
You so soon. Technical difficulties.
We up and rolling now.
Sorry about that.
There we go. Hello, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
Jason, you can't pop in just like that. She was drinking. Who's
Jason?
Jason is a regular on my other shows.
Ooh, okay.
Hi, Jason. Welcome.
Yep. I got it posted up on my other account, so Jason must have seen it.
Yeah, he's logged in from your YouTube, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Jason.
Yes, this is live right now.
Yeah. Yes, Jason, this is live. If you haven't figured that part out.
Ah, there he is.
There's Lorenzo.
Hi, Lorenzo. The troublemaker himself.
I wonder how many corners he'll go to tonight. Okay.
All of them. All three of his faves are on here tonight.
Let's see how.
Yes, Jason. Thank you. I love that, Jason. I love that.
I'm sorry we're a little behind. We had a little technical difficulty, but we're going to catch up. Don't worry.
It was my fault. It was all my fault. My bad.
No.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We here.
Well, and that's my thing. That's why I take ownership of it, because when I first started Casey at Night, it was a technical difficulty of some kind every show. Every show. I'm like, if we weren't doing the show if there wasn't a technical difficulty.
Hey, Duchess. Hey, baby.
Hey, Duchess.
Duchess. Oh, I just love me some Duchess cashmere.
All of Casey's fans is on here tonight. I like this.
And here comes Moses. Hey, Moses.
Hi, Moses. Hi, baby.
Moses.
Hi, baby. You at work? Even the lights went out. Oh,
Yep.
Lord.
Oh,
The
wow.
lights went out one time. The backdrop fell down. Oh, we had some fun.
I can attest to the lights. I one night I had to do it. We had a power outage in Cleveland in my apartment. I was like, the show must go on.
That part right there. We kept doing the show. You gotta keep doing it. Can't be phased.
I'm in the dark, but here we
Oh,
are.
that's right. It's the holiday. You at home. Okay.
Hey, Red. Oh, that's Chicago in the house. Hey, Red. Hi, baby. I got to see her at Exotica, and we haven't seen each other in such a long time. I love you, Red Waters. I love you.
Lord.
All right. Well, once again, we all apologize. We had a little technical difficulty getting us started tonight, but we are up and running. Okay, we are up and running, and we got a great show for you guys tonight. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started because we got the goddess in the house tonight.
Yes, we do.
Oh my God.
When I tell y'all she is a goddess, I bow at her feet.
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Yes. My new sister by another mother, but my new sister. is in the house with us tonight. Once again, we want to welcome everyone to another marvelous Monday on Juicy Tales Erotic Chat. I am your hostess with the mostest, Ms. JewCee. And of course, I could not do this show without my fabulous, absolutely wonderful, absolutely gorgeous co host, Ms. Purple Rain, who is in the house this evening joining us.
Hi,
Yes.
y'all.
And once again, we want to let everyone know, please continue to send your positive prayers to Siren and her family. Michael is home. Her husband is home. For those of you that are not aware and you tune into the show, Siren has had to leave, and her husband has suffered 4 aneurysms. He's been operated for 2. We have 2 more to go. He's not out of the woods, but he is home. He is doing well. And those positive prayers just really, really, really help. If you would like to donate, you can definitely support. Right now, everybody, it's a little tight. This was very sudden. You can send money to the Cash App for JewCee, Ms. JewCee. We will forward that money on to her and her family. Everybody knows medical bills are out the wazoo. So if you can send anything, $5, $10, we will forward it on to her and let her know that your token of love is truly appreciated. So wanted to put that out there, and letting everyone know, just continue to pray. Prayer does work. It does work. It does work. It has brought him this far, and we're going to continue to keep him uplifted in our prayers to have a
Yes, ma'am.
full recovery. Okay. So for those of you that have been missing your Siren, we are missing her as well. She sends her love. But right now, as we all everybody understands, she has to take care of home first. Okay. Home comes first. So,
Yes, ma'am.
but in the interim, we will be having some special guests join us to keep our balance going. Okay. And thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate that. We have the goddess herself in the house with us. Ms. Casey Carter is joining us tonight, everyone. I'm so happy. Look, I'm so
What
happy.
happened?
So, wait a second. Is it delayed? Is it not working? I can't believe this.
No.
It is a technical night. It is just a technical night. This is ridiculous. It's crazy.
Lord.
We good. We're all moving again now.
Yeah. We're all in this. We're all in this together. And there we go. Thank you, City, and thank you, audience. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We were wondering where you were. I know we were a little slow. Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to give us
Who we was looking for?
our audience participation. Thank you so much.
Okay. I was like, who I missed? Did I miss somebody say something?
No. So, Casey, oh my goodness. We got to meet each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been on your show, and I had a blast. I can't wait to get invited back. We had a great time. We had a great conversation. But let everyone know on our side of the house a little bit more about you.
Ooh, let's see. So I describe myself as an edutainer. I love to educate and entertain. I started off my social media career just really introducing everyone to my erotic short stories. I've got, I don't know, 8, 10, I lost track, erotic short stories. And I started Casey at Night as a platform to promote my stories. And then as I got to meet other writers, I realized it is hard to be an erotic writer and promote your material. So I started reading other people's erotic stories. And then that grew into me teaching people about the things that we were discussing in the stories, the various topics, the fetishes. Um, One gentleman wrote a story about harem being groomed to be a harem boy. So this love for teaching about sex and sexuality and relationships came out of sharing the stories, and that kind of grew the, say, the dominatrix side. People got exposed to all of that, and so I think just in being myself publicly, folks got to see all the various sides of Casey. And that personality has grown from there. I've written books with my mother and my sister. I've done a story with your favorite, Lorenzo, and he and I have done several shows together. For a while, he was co-hosting Casey at Night with me. I produce and co-host BoobTube for Exotica TV. You will see me at all the Exoticas all year. I mean, I pretty much get around, if you will. I think COVID,
I need to
COVID
be
sort
you
of.
when I grow up.
I want to be on boob tube though. I got some boobs.
Believe it or not, that wasn't the qualification,
Oh, darn
but
it.
yeah. But and I'll be honest, the boob tube thing it was an accident. Boob tube got started during COVID, and I had just met Carrie Anthony because I did an interview with her, and she just out of the blue said, "Hey, do you want to co-host this show with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? What the heck?" And so it deepened my relationship with Exotica, kind of put me in as an insider. And they give me a free booth for all of the conventions to represent BoobTube, to represent Casey at Night. And what I've loved about that is representing for us, representing for all of us beautiful brown women who want to see other beautiful brown women in the space. Because if you know anything about porn, it is still very, 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 very not brown. I'll say it that way.
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Amen.
let's go ahead and say white. Okay, go ahead.
It's still very white. Okay, yes, that part right there. So I love being that representation of someone who's brown in this space, and I don't even do porn. So that makes it even more interesting because if you and JewCee, you were there, and I don't know if you had a chance to really walk around, but like just about everybody in there knows me, and just about everybody in there knows I don't do porn. And yet they expect to see me there. So I really, really appreciate that opportunity to be representation in places where we don't get representation.
Yeah.
So,
And I have to admit, I got the opportunity, as you guys know, I got the opportunity to go to Exotica for the first time in quite some time. I will say that, quite some time. I headed to Chicago, and I am headed to the New Jersey event. But I was, it was a double-edged sword for me. I was pleasantly surprised and pleasantly
Hey.
to see the people of color in certain areas. In one area in particular, where there was a group of them that I was a part of, and then to actually see them in the crowd. The crowd finally has changed and is much more diverse for Exotica, because the first 2 years I
Hey,
went,
Robert.
we had to hunt down. We had to hunt down. Oh, there's one. You know.
yeah.
One. And it is nice to see the representation. It is nice to see people of color definitely in these atmospheres, because for some unknown reason, and I think this kind of it came up a little bit in what Purple Rain posted the other day, And
We don't get there because
wait a minute. I find it very, very funny. I find it very, very funny that we are lacking, number one, in our own education about our own people. For some unknown reason, we tend to believe that people of color don't do these things. And we've done these things since the beginning of time, folks. Since you have to go back to Africa, go somewhere. I mean, just understand that we have been a part of the kink lifestyle. We've been in BDSM. We've been in exhibitionists. We've been in poly relationships. There's tribes that are like this. If you go out and you get educated, I know y'all don't want to do it. I know, I understand. You don't want to do it. You don't want to take that time to learn. I get it. You just want to get straight to the effing. I get it. But if you go get some education for half a second, you're going to find out that, yes, Black people have sex. Yes, Black people are into kink. Yes, Black people are poly. Yes, Black people are swingers. Yes.
All the things. Listen, let me tell you, let me just explain why we don't realize this. We don't realize it because anywhere the colonizers have been, they have stripped us of our sexuality. Because while Miss JewCee is talking about us, if you do research on the Asian cultures,
that's us too,
honey. These
indigenous Asian folks look like us,
and they got there and they Christianized them, made them stop being the kinky freaks that they are. We went to Lorenzo and I went to the Museum of Sex or whatever it's called in Las Vegas. And what fascinated me were the primitive sex toys. And the majority of them came from Asia. I mean, the Asian culture as a whole, where do you think tantric sex comes from? Right?
Kama Sutra.
That's not European, y'all.
It's not. It's Asian. It's Asian. But okay, so basically my post was talking about people wanting to be in the lifestyle but being broke. And everybody wanted to jump down my throat because they thought I was talking about money. And yes, I was talking about money, but I was talking about it from a point of willing to spend the money to educate yourself in the lifestyle that you say you want to live. Everybody keeps hollering, lifestyle is nothing but sex. Lifestyle is nothing but sex. It don't cost money to have sex. You're right. It don't cost money to have sex, but it costs money to get your test done. It don't cost much money, but it costs money to get your test done. It costs money to travel to be with like-minded people. It costs money to travel to get education if you want to be more than a swinger. If you want to be in BDSM, if you want to be in poly, if you want to be in any of these other parts of the umbrella, it takes education. It takes mentality. It takes wanting to be able to be open. What you gonna do? Stay in the city you live in your whole life? But my main reason for making that post is because I'm sick of people in my city specifically. I was talking about Indiana because these motherfuckers say they can't afford to travel. So when we bring them the education to their back door, they say, I'm not paying so-and-so to go to a local party. We're not charging you for a party, ho. We're charging you for your education.
Okay. Could we,
sorry.
Although we are, and we understand that you're passionate, and we can say certain things, but a lot of people, they miss the boat on the education part. And that's on purpose. And that's by design, to be honest. That is to keep us in the dark.
Yes.
On purpose.
So they love us ignorant. They love us
ignorant. And it irritates me because it makes us fight each other.
Right.
It makes us fight each other. And I just, Lord, it just makes my blood boil. It makes my blood boil because I even had somebody attack me. I had somebody share my post and somebody went and screenshot my profile to talk about my marketing and what I'm marketing to. Because my page says I'm a findom, they automatically assumed that that's what I was marketing towards. I'm a podcaster. I'm an educator. I'm all of those things before I'm a femdom.
Right.
That's just my lifestyle. So no, you're not going to see things on my page that are directed towards my dominatrix, because the people that come to me for that know what I do. I don't have to advertise that. I advertise the stuff that I'm passionate about, though. I advertise my education. I advertise my podcast. I advertise my friends' podcast. I advertise my friends' events, because I'm about educating people and keeping people entertained at the same time. I like that term you give yourself, an educator.
Yes, Sonny Megatron actually gave me that name.
Yeah, I love that, because it's about education and fun. And a lot of these events that people put together, whether it be Exotica or the hotel takeovers or kink events, all of those events are not just for people to, yes, they're there for people to have a space to be who they are, but they're also there to just have a group of like-minded people in one building and have fun together.
Yeah.
That's why we have the different educators at the events. That's why we have the different events like Erotic Paint and Sip, or, you know, performances and stuff. It's so that everybody can be in one space and get everything they need at one time.
And feel safe.
And feel safe.
And no judgment.
No judgment. Because, you know, there was a season, I don't know about where you all were, but there was a season here in the Atlanta area where it seemed like everybody was having an erotic party of some kind. A lot of
it was here in Indy too, because Indy and Atlanta are connected. Okay. And I was going back and forth. Like, I know several party promoters in Atlanta. Several.
And I quite a few of my friends here went to some of these parties, and they were like, they were like, they called me in to educate and to entertain, and some of them were just straight fuck part.
Yep. It's okay. We can say whatever. We don't care.
Okay. Yeah. Some of them were just straight fuck parties. And what I like about what you said, Purple Rain, you're an educator first. All those other things are the other things. So my friends who are educators were like, that's not what I went for. That's not, it's not what I went for.
And a lot of people, what we don't do, but what we do with the Ebony Erotic experience is that we do put education as the first part of the E. That's number one. If we're doing our job, everything else will follow. Because otherwise, a lot of these folks don't understand. And you know, I've been in this business for a very long time. Why did I come back? But anyway, I've been in this business. I thought
we love you, and we needed you.
I retired. Okay, but I came back because we are not educating. People, I saw my sister's post, and I'm reading the responses, and the responses are absolutely ridiculous and wrong. Just plain ordinary wrong. Lifestyle is an umbrella. That's why there's title. That's why there's different names, folks. Let me just try to give you a little common sense for like 2 seconds. If we're saying lifestyle, that's an umbrella. Underneath the umbrella is BDSM, poly, monogamy, swingers. I can go on and on and on, all the list of everything. And then underneath those, you can have some fetishes that are going to be thrown in there as well. Fetishes are not the same as something that is lifestyle. Lifestyle is something, it's just what the word means. It's something that you are interested in 24/7. You can practice. You don't necessarily have to practice it 24/7, because sometimes,
but it is a lifestyle. It is a way of life for you.
It's within your eye. That's why I say it's in your mental, it's in your, you know, it's in your spirit 24/7. That is a lifestyle.
I need y'all to realize vanilla people got fetishes too.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
There are people in this lifestyle that are monogamish. I call out the monogamish people all the time. They might not monogamous, but they monogamish. They find a partner and put them in a chokehold. That partner can't do nothing without them in this lifestyle.
So there's a lot of different ways to look at it, because a lot of folks don't aren't getting educated.
Mm-hmm.
And as you stated, Goddess, they're going to events. We're going to events. And basically, like I tell people, a lot of these lifestyle events are nothing but you paying a madam or pimp. Okay, let's just break it down. You giving money because you're paying. Right. You're paying to go. Don't try to act like you didn't pay no money to get in the door.
Right.
That's like paying a madam and a pimp so that you can have sex. That's called prostitution. Hello. And it's just at a hotel and it's all prettied up a little bit.
Or an Airbnb. They were Airbnb-ing that bitch here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Those are fuck parties.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Because at least hotel takeovers give you something to do during Saturday during the day.
Maybe. I'm just
the ones I go to do. We be having all kind of stuff to do during the day. Now, whether or not people show up to those things to do.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, maybe. So all we're saying, guys, is we have to stay educated. We have to stay in our best light of eroticism, because it is something that we brought to the forefront. People of color did. And it cracks me up that it cracks me up, but at the same time, it's extremely sad to see that we still don't know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't know that we're the kings and the queens, and that we've invented.
You know that's intentional.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And we allow ourselves
to fall into
be ignorant.
Yeah,
we allow it, and I don't. I can get on the soapbox on that one, but I won't. Not today. Not today. But when you were just talking, and I was thinking about, you made the comment about, being retired and why did I come back? I always say, especially when I'm talking about people of color, there is no 1, 2, or 3 people who are the voice in this space. You have to have multiple voices, because people who listen to me may not listen to JewCee, and people who listen to JewCee may not listen to Jasmine. So you've got to have as many voices and as many parts of the world as is possible, so that people get the information they need. I mean, we're ignorant by choice, but if the right person's voice is heard by the person whom it was calibrated for, they will receive that information. And so it's important that we're out here, all of us, and that we coexist together, not try to be better than,
right,
or try to say, well, Casey, she ain't talking about shit, no way. So, because, I talk about blah, blah, blah. No, I talk about what's relevant to me. I talk about things that are in the space that I like to occupy. I don't own the space. I just talk in that space. And there should not be a problem with more than one person being in the same space, because, again, I firmly believe there are people who aren't going to listen to this person over here, but they'll listen to me. And at the end of the day, that is the goal, is to educate as many as we can.
Right.
Exactly.
Moses says, all my brothers know that I'm a lifestyler, and I've had to tell most of them that they can't go to the events that I go to because they have the wrong mindset. Some just don't want the proper education. And
he's talking about his motorcycle club brothers, because they be all asking, can they come to events? And he always tells them no.
They just want to fuck.
Mm-hmm. They just down to fuck.
But here's the thing. There are parties for that. It's called a gangbang party.
There you go.
Yep.
You tell your brothers, look up a gangbang party, and they can go on over
and
there.
It's crazy because I just called it down to fuck, but that just reminded me, there's a post out there. After I made my post earlier this week, somebody else made another post with a bunch of acronyms. What do you identify as? LS. And then it was all the things under LS. And then it was new to the LS, or new LS beginner, something else. And then the last one just said down to fuck. Because That's what most of these motherfuckers are. They down to fuck.
Right. But that's not a lot. Well, I guess it could
That's
be
not like
your
that.
lifestyle. But
It
that's
could
not
be, but
when you
that's a little scary.
umbrella. I don't know that that's really an umbrella thing.
Yeah.
And let me say this. I ain't mad at you.
Right.
I ain't mad at you. Just call
Sex
it
is a
what it
great
is.
thing. Sex is a great thing. I'm not ever downing nobody for wanting to have sex because sex is amazing. I
Mhm.
love it. But what you're not going to do is downplay the lifestyle to just being about sex.
Right.
If
Because
you
it's
get with an
not.
old
Because I
school
know people in the
madam,
lifestyle that don't have sex at all.
I was gonna say, if you get with an old school madam, dominatrix, whatever, they will tell you it is not the sex. It is the scene. It is the experience.
The sex becomes great because of the experience.
Right. And
And
it usually happens after the
Yeah.
experience. It is
That's
not
why
the
we even say
experience.
we do not promote sex, we promote eroticism.
Mm-hmm.
it's important. It's important that people, but as we've said, a lot of people are not educated. Unfortunately, some of them don't even know how to, hey, Siri, tell me what the definition of eroticism is, because if you go get that, you might be a
Get
little
50
better
million
off.
definitions.
Go
Well,
get some
can I just say,
Hey, Patty.
hold on a second.
uh,
Why did my nosy chick right here?
Okay, I found this on the web. Can I just say, wait, hold on a second.
I'm gonna need your Siri not to be so goddamn nosy.
Hello.
I love her. She's at least she's getting educated. She wants to
The
be.
minute you
Siri's
said
so
Siri,
damn
I looked
nosy.
over at my phone. I'm like, this nosy bitch.
Not use a dictionary. Alexis, there's 50 million definitions in the dictionary too because they want to keep us stupid.
Yeah.
But you have to. You also, I know, and my mother used to say this all the time. You have to throw in some common sense, and common sense ain't so common.
No.
So
Common sense is not common. It's not.
you have to try to throw in a little bit of common sense along with the knowledge in order to make it make sense. And believe me, we all know one size does not fit all. Not everything is for everybody. And if you want to go to a gangbang, you go to a gangbang. If you want to go to a swingers party, you go to a swingers party. If you're into BDSM, you want to go to BDSM. Understand, once again, when you get to BDSM, there are some categories that you might want to know about before you just go willy-nilly letting some people beat your ass.
I know a house owner. I know a BDSM house owner. His signature event is a gangbang party. So that even still falls under that.
Yeah. It just, like I said, you have to get informed. You cannot just step out here willy-nilly and understand terminology, which is something that I'm very big on. Terminology is so important. It will save you in the end. It will save you in the end to understand terminology. And you don't always get the opportunity to learn some of this stuff. So you should go to some of these events because, for example, with the Ebony Erotic Experience, here you are in an environment where you have the educators right there at your fingertips. You can talk to them. You can ask them questions. You can. We had 2 great panel discussions. You've got opportunities to learn more about what you want to get into, what you want. Is this for me? And actually finding out, am I a swinger or am I just out here fucking just to fuck?
And again, neither one is wrong.
Right.
Neither one is wrong.
Right.
It's just being able to identify.
Exactly. Understand who and what you are and what you want out of this. What do you want out of it? Because
whoever you are is okay.
I'm a voyeur at times. Sometimes I want to go. I'm like, dude, get away from me. I'm watching.
Right.
I like to watch. And that's usually the hardest part about my partners. They be mad. They be feeling like I be pimping them out like I'm a madam or something. I be like, I just want to watch. I know how well you fuck me. I want to watch you fuck.
Wow.
Like,
yeah, I want to watch your body move. And I'm like, damn, does he do that? Does he look like that with me? Yeah.
Right.
One time,
I can learn some things by watching.
my guy, one time he was doing this other girl and he didn't know I was behind them. I had sat on the floor, Indian style, and I was very quiet. And I was just sitting there watching. And he turned around and looked. I'm like, turn back around. Pay attention to what you're doing. Don't be looking over here. I got this. So
They be wanting you to participate, not just be wanting to sit there and watch like I'm watching a movie. Give me my popcorn.
Popcorn going. I'm good. I don't need to turn your butt back around.
Handle your business, baby. Handle your business.
Let's see. It says, I'm trying to learn because I want to bring munches to Barbados. Okay. Because I'm sure we have kinky people where I live, but how can I find them? I always say FetLife. Go out to FetLife. Get on FetLife. That's one way to find some people. There's another BDSM. I got to remember BDSM dating. I'm on that site as well. It's a little weird, but I'm on that site as well. BDSM dating and FetLife are a couple of good ways to find some folks that are
BDSM dating is a little creepy. But Moses also said true LS is about friendships, building bonds, learning different perspectives, respecting different kinks, and enjoying life safely. I agree. And something else I can add to that is not yucking somebody else's yum. And that's part of respecting the differences of everybody's kinks. Just because I like it and you don't like it doesn't mean you get to yuck me. Just like there might be something you like that I don't like. I'm not going to yuck you. I'm going to respect that those are your kinks. I might not be into them. I might not know about it. I might not understand it, but I'm not going to disrespect you because of it.
And I love that you say that, because I always like to say it's yours. So it is not required that I like, love, understand. I like, love, and understand that it gets you off. That's the space I like to hold, because
there's tons of things I like that people definitely don't understand. So I just leave it be.
Right. Because it's all really, to me, it's at the end of the day, it's about you being able to enjoy pleasure. And
exactly.
How you get there, as long as it's safe, sane, consensual, not illegal.
Well, it's all illegal, but safe, sane, and consensual.
Well, some things I guess are, more prominently illegal than others.
Borderline.
But anyway, just it's we live in such a repressed society. And again, as we said at the top of this conversation, us brown people, we brought the kink. Okay.
Yes.
We brought the kink. We wrote it in books and created toys and tools and implements.
First of all, have you seen the Egyptian toys?
Hello, somebody.
That they're buried with? Yeah, we've seen them.
Hello, somebody.
That they're buried
with? Egyptian toys, baby.
That they were buried with? You mean that they take with them to the afterworld, to the next world? Because it was so good in the beginning. The present.
I'm just saying.
I ain't sharing. You ain't getting it. I'm taking it with me.
Just like all that other shit I took with me.
Right.
Why would I leave that?
I'm taking all. I'm not taking.
Yeah.
I mean, and you have to look at, even if you look at history. We'll start with history. If you look at history, you have to think about it. Men went off to war. They were gone for years. Years. They left wives. And those wives, hey, gotta get it in.
We like to believe that they were faithful.
Yeah.
But they had to do something, because I don't care what y'all say. As much as y'all tried to teach us that sex wasn't for us too, we was sneaking and getting it, because we wasn't really getting it at home. I'm just putting that out there.
Facts.
Hey.
Facts.
When the child came out dark and you're light.
I mean, we all know somebody's grandma, grandpa, great grandma, and grandpa, where it was 15 kids, but them kids didn't respectively come from both parents.
Right.
And it ain't talked about. We not gonna we're gonna leave that there. We know it went down.
It went down.
But a lot of people, like I said, they don't look, and they don't, and it, like we said at the beginning, we are conditioned to believe and to think like this. We are conditioned to believe that we as people of color do not enjoy kink because of slavery. No. Um we are conditioned to believe that you know all black men treat their women horribly, um disrespect us at every turn. No. We are we're conditioned to believe that all we do is pop out baby after baby after baby after baby, and that's not us. That would be the other ones. um Statistics show that we got numbers. We got lots of numbers. So how do you think, Casey, that we would try to change a a a thought process, or help somebody understand that their thought process maybe needs to be updated? How do we go about getting this change going?
Conversations like this. Conversations like this, where we have to literally um, present them with the historical facts. I love a documentary. I love a museum, and I love seeing just how deep we are embedded in history. And it angers and frustrates me that the non-melanated will go through great lengths to whitewash the history and say and do things that will cause us to not only not do the research, but to not want to believe our place in history. So I think it's important that we talk, and we talk as often as possible, as much as possible, with as much transparency of the information. We don't just sit here and say that Egyptians had toys and that the Asians had all of these things. These are things that you can see in a museum, right? Like, they can't get rid of it. These are actual artifacts that can be seen. And they just bring light to the fact that we have always been kinky. We have always been sexual. Sexual. We've had sex since we've had people. Think about that, y'all. We've had sex since we've had people.
All kinds of sex, folks. Don't just think it was vaginal. All kinds of sex.
Sex is sex.
Different positions, different sizes, all since the beginning of time.
Yeah. And we have to also be open to receiving the information, because the three of us can sit here and we can talk for the rest of the night, even though that would be past my bedtime, but we could talk for the rest of the night. But if you don't want to hear it, if you don't want to take even one
Thank you, Rob,
morsel and run with the one little morsel, you will continue to be in the dark. You will continue
amen,
to blind to the truth of who you are. We always talk about we're kings and queens. Yes, but we are so much more. Like, what does all of that actually mean? It sounds nice to say we're kings and queens, but we bring to the table a depth of information, knowledge, and experience that actually epitomizes why we can call ourselves kings and queens. And we owe it to ourselves to actually know exactly what it means. Not just that Africa is filled with kings and queens and we're from Africa. Oh, no. It's so
not all, but see, and that's the thing. A lot of people, I think that's why I want to do an ancestry on myself so bad, or 23andMe or whatever. But that's what I was saying earlier. So many times as Black folks, and I'm just going to say it as a general, as Black folks all around the country, especially Black Americans, we're taught that we just came from Africa. No, there are dark indigenous Asians. There are dark indigenous Australians. There are dark indigenous people from all parts of the world.
Yep. All over.
And a lot of those indigenous people were here when the slaves were brought here. And then in turn enslaved themselves, which is why a lot of us are mixed and are different colors and all that different hues of what brown is, because we all come. That's why some of us look Asian. That's why some of us look, you know what I'm saying, have different features, because indigenous or brown folks in general have come from all parts of the world. I tell people this all the time and they always look at me like I'm crazy. But I loved history and I loved geography. I thought I was going to be an archaeologist growing up. I thought I was going to be the first little black girl to travel the world and be the black female Indiana Jones. You couldn't tell me nothing, okay?
Yes.
But people forget that when we studied in history class that all of the continents at one point were connected.
Pangea.
The platelets moving and earthquakes are the reason why the continents are formed the way they are. But in hints, that's also why the continents and stuff are moving the way they are now in our place where they are, and why temperatures are the way they are now. Things are changing because the world constantly moves and evolves, and it's moving back closer together.
Yeah, think about it, y'all. Y'all can slide South America right up into
It's a big
Africa.
puzzle. Big puzzle piece and put it back together. Can be put back
together. What does that mean, Lorenzo?
It's like he's having a whole nother conversation.
I don't know. He's so special at times, and it's always directed at me. Always. I didn't do nothing to you, Lorenzo. Go to the corner. Indiana Rain. Oh, that's why he said I like the lip, because of Indiana Jones. He's so special. It took Moses to put that together for me.
Okay.
So special. You and Moses both go to the goddamn corner.
Wow. And this is our audience, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't say nothing serious out here.
That's why,
Jesus.
We can't get through nothing. Not a thing.
But I mean, it all comes down to that. And you have to remember that people's genealogy and where we come from is been limited to what they want us to know.
Right.
I had a client the other day. We were talking, and I usually try to avoid political and or racial conversations with my white clients. I work in a predominantly white neighborhood, so I avoid those conversations. But when they bring them up, I try to be as respectful as possible to some of the things that they say. And what did he say to me the other day? He said something, I don't even remember. I forgot where I was going. But it was along the lines of basically, you can't just say that I'm what I am because of what I look like. Just like I can't say you are what you are because of what you look like. Because there's tons of times where I look at my clients and I think they white. I got a client that looks white. He's Puerto Rican. But he presents in a fairer skinned manner. But man speaks full. And when I look at his kids, him and his wife are Puerto Rican. But when I look at their kids, I see white kids. I see privilege.
Okay.
But it's because of just their skin tone and their presentation and how their hair is. You know what I'm saying? But they go through the same things that we go through. And me and him talk about the different discrimination and politics and things like that, because he's a police officer. So me and him talk about those things, but we've built that rapport with each other because of me now knowing that he's a person of color. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of one of those things with respecting boundaries and people understanding and understanding that at some point we all came from the same place, regardless of what we look like.
Right.
Well, yeah, and there's proof of that as well. I know some people don't want to hear that, but there's proof of it. There's no pure nothing. There's no pure anybody. And it's unfortunate that, this doesn't have anything to do with anything but ignorance. ignorance is something that I am definitely prejudiced against. It's because you don't have to be. You don't
Right.
have to be ignorant. You can open up your mind and absorb some new information. What you do with that information is totally up to you, but you need to learn to free your mind as opposed to sitting around and thinking that in this all of these years, thousands and thousands of years that man has existed and been on the planet, that we are just simply one dimensional, and that's basically how a lot of people think.
Mhm.
um
Exactly.
so Casey, with Exotica, because I know you're way in there,
I
and
need to get in with you, girl.
I I we had a great time, and like I said, it has changed. um the dynamic finally has changed somewhat. I didn't see, now I mean, I was just at the Chicago
Mhm.
showing, and I was limited on, because the one time I did walk around, I thought I was going to never get back to the area because there was just that many people um at the Chicago Exotica. Was absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on Friday night. Um, where do you see this event continuing for a long time, or?
I do. I do. They celebrated, what was it, 15 years?
Mhm.
Mm.
So, yeah, I do see it continuing. And I see it continuing honestly. And let me say this, post COVID, the numbers for like the shows has been fantastic. They've seen really large numbers post COVID. And I think to the point you made, you see, there's a lot more of us in the building. And we still have a ways to go, even in that space, to be honest, in terms of the level of representation. But in the small window of time that I've been going to Exotica, I have seen significant changes. I have seen the number of people who look like me increase, and that means a lot. That means a lot, a lot, a lot. Especially because a lot of us seek each other out. We try to connect, even if it's just to say hi at the meet and greets or the after parties. So I do think you're going to see it continue. And I do think as long as people like myself, um, Tayomi and I'm sorry, I just drew a blank on, I'm looking at her face. Even as long as you have people like us in the spaces that we hold, the prominent spaces that we hold, I think you will continue to see more of us show up. I'm always amazed. I'm always amazed when I see large number of Black people walking together through the floor, not just scattered about. And I love that it's not always just a bunch of dudes,
Yeah,
because there's sometimes it is just a bunch of dudes, but I'm also seeing a lot of women, and those are the people. And Lorenzo loves to tell stories about people and their anxiety about approaching me. Women will walk right up to me. Men, on the other hand, will stand at a distance and pretend like they're not looking and don't want to say anything. And they've even will like circle the block, if you will, and in concentric circles, it'll come closer and closer and closer until finally we practically bump into each other. Or Lorenzo will say, "Do you want to talk to her?"
yeah.
I think because of the status that you hold with Exotica, even like Lady V and the other name you mentioned, and some of the other people I know that have held booths or ran the dungeon or sold product. I
Mhm.
think when we see people that we admire that
Right.
look like us in these spaces or on these flyers, it makes us come
Yeah.
and grow.
Especially when you see us consistently.
Yeah, especially like Chicago and Miami. I think there are more groups of blacks or brown people going to those two locations specifically One, because of the types of cities they are. So
Mhm.
Chicago and Miami are a draw on their own for people of color. But
Right.
then when you see that people that look like us hold a a prestige with this organization and are constantly being booked or
Mhm.
constantly teaching or constantly showing up to have a vendor table or something like that where we can always have access to the people that we look up to,
Right.
it's more of a draw for us.
It is. It is. And to that point, I very intentionally made sure that my banner at the top of the booth said Exotica TV on it because I wanted people to want to make that connection that I am connected to this event, not just a person who shows up.
Right.
So that it again holds more value for that space that I occupy. I'd say all the time, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time for this opportunity. And I do whatever I can to maintain that space. Because let's just be honest, if we sometimes don't invite ourselves to the space, we won't get invited. And we
That
cannot
part.
expect change if we continue to not want to be a part of what's going on. I can't.
I'm gonna put my own chair at the table
Come on. Come on.
because they not gonna give us a seat at the table. You gotta make your space. You gotta give
Right.
them a reason to even want you there.
Yeah. And I firmly believe that. I've never understood why we would want to refuse to be where they are. I'm like, "What? No, no, no. No, no, no. You're going to have to kick me out dragging and screaming. I'm going. I'm going." I love to tell the story of being a 20-something-year-old Black girl with my girlfriend who was going to Yale, and we got invited to the Yale Club. It, talk about white. It was one of those spaces where the Black people were still the servers. They
Yeah.
were not sitting in the big cushy chairs. They were the servers still. And this is in the early 90s. And she and I, she was in a secret society, and the former president of this secret society invited us to lunch. We were having a business meeting. We were talking to him about investing in our graphic design business. And these two young, pretty Black girls go strolling through the Yale Club like it wasn't shit, like it was any hotel lobby or any restaurant or whatever. We're walking all through the dining room, and he's like, "Oh, this is so and so and so and so, and hey, come here, I want you to meet these." And you could see the look on the Black people's face, the servers, like, "Oh shit, okay." I loved that moment because all these old stuffy white men had to be uncomfortable with us being in the space.
Yep.
And I loved it for our people to see, hey, we can be guests up in this bitch. We don't have to serve. We can be guests and we can be welcomed guests. Because when I tell you this man introduced us to everybody and they all respected him. So when he's making these introductions of these little Black girls, folks had to be nice to us, whether they wanted to or not. I loved that moment. I love those kinds of moments because I'm like, I know you don't want me here, but bitch, guess what? I'm
I'm
here.
here.
I'm here, bitches.
And we didn't go just one time. We were there 2 or 3 times. Right? So I just want for us to not be like, I'm not going to that white event. No, be there. Be there. If you got to be the little raisin in that glass of milk, you need to go because they
I
talk
like
about
that.
shit that we don't get exposed to. Right. So you
Yep.
need to be where they're having these conversations, where they're making these connections. They need to be uncomfortable with your initial presence so that they can be comfortable when they see you the next time. And the next time is when they may actually share shit with you.
And at the end of the day, as non-mainstream as our life and our business is, I want to be as mainstream as possible. And the only way that can happen is to be in those white spaces.
That part. That part.
Because that's what makes it mainstream.
Mhm. Yeah.
Even if it's underground mainstream, that makes it mainstream.
Still mainstream. It's still listen. Don't even get me started on this because I love supporting my people, but I also want to be where the money is. And the large chunk of the money is still over there.
over there.
Mhm.
Just
And
saying.
it makes
And my post made it
and it
clear
makes
this week
it
because
makes it
it was
makes
our folks complaining.
Of course it is.
well, that's big. Once again, remember where the complaints are coming from. They're coming from those that are not informed or educated.
Mhm.
Because if
And
one more person tell me that us promoters is making money and trying to pay our rent off these events,
So such lies. Such lies.
I'm
well,
looking at my
I
house and
mean,
trying to figure out what rent I'm paying.
I would like to know. Here's the thing. A lot of those folks, and I got that. I even got that when I owned a minor league football team. I had got another car. Okay, I had got a new car for myself. It was new. It was a used car, but for myself, it was new. I had went from a Lincoln Town car that had oil leaks, okay, to a Dodge Stratus, and I didn't expect to get the car, but I got it, and I had people within the football team talking about, well, all our money's going to her new. No, I have a job. I have a 9 to 5. I have credit. Wasn't none of the team money had anything to do with y'all
It's
got
not even included in my income, boo.
right. Not to mention we were put together as a not-for-profit organization. I have to document all that
All
money.
the money.
And I had a board of directors, so I don't even have access to the money.
Mhm.
Only time I get the money is to go buy football.
Or two.
So some folks don't know anything about business. I'm
Yeah.
always telling folks, especially folks that want to go into business, go take a business course. Just take one for a semester. Go take a business course before you run your mouth about something you don't know anything about.
Mhm.
When people host events, even with Exotica, they have to pay for certain things. There's things that they have to pay for.
They're paying for a lot of shit.
Right. That's thousands and thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
That
And listen, when you can break even, that's a good day.
That's a good day. Exactly. Oh my God, yes. And a
That's a
lot of
good day.
times you don't break even in business until you don't even get to see your return on any money for at least 3 to 5 years.
5 years.
I've done it in 3. But I mean that was because I had the support, and I had the people behind me that taught me how to do some things. And yeah, guess what? It was AT&T that helped me learn how to run my business. And that's what? A Fortune 500 company, and I worked for them for 16 years. You better believe I learned how to do some shit.
Mhm.
Okay? So understand this. When the next time when you guys want to make a comment about somebody putting on an event that they paying, it's too much. Why don't you find out what it costs to have the event? Why don't you try putting on an event and seeing an event space, how much it costs? Some event spaces want you to have insurance, and that insurance, the minimum coverage you have to have is $1 million.
Right.
That's the minimum. And that usually costs anywhere from $650 on up.
Mhm.
Just to have one event.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's
There's
a lot.
of costs.
And I'm gonna tell you what. Sometimes we don't even charge enough for that damn ticket you don't want to pay for.
Thank you.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm the kind of girl. Don't get me wrong. I want a reasonably priced ticket. I don't necessarily want a cheap ticket. Because if your ticket is too cheap, I got questions.
Yeah, I'm not going.
I got questions. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not going.
I'm asking questions like, so is this a gangbang or orgy? What we doing? If it's a cheap ticket, I'm automatically assuming it's one of those things, and you're not trying to tell nobody.
Yep.
If it's
or a house party.
If it's a cheap ticket, I'm not going. That's just the bottom line. I've already learned my lesson. I'm not going.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
It's a lot of questions y'all need to want to ask before you
Yeah.
you jump in with both feet. A lot of questions,
And
and I'm and going back to the whole point of this, these conversations, Juicy's question, how do we educate? It's these conversations, especially when they start meandering. Y'all need to have a notepad because we saying a whole lot of stuff in this conversation that you're gonna want to circle back on, do a little bit deeper dive, ask some questions. What did you mean by this? Because it's a lot and you need to hear it, and you need to hear this repeatedly. Like there shouldn't be just a single conversation about these specific topics. You need to be hearing it over and over and over again, because you need to be able to fully absorb what you've heard, and then you need to be able to go out and see it in the real world, because there's a lot we're telling you, but sometimes you need to see these things in action. You need to
Yeah.
see it in action. I know when JewCee was doing her erotic event, my questions for JewCee whenever I was checking in was, how are you doing? I wasn't even interested in how the event was going. I wanted to know how was she doing, because I understand the stress of putting
Boy.
an event together. Irregardless of how big or how small, I understand the stress that you internalize. So all I would ever say to her is, how are you doing? How is it good? How's it good for you? Because I knew somebody needed to ask that question, because everything else is, do we have this and do we have that and da 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 da. She needed 1 minute to be able to focus on herself, and but
That's how
that
I feel
this is
about
what I'm
Indy, and I haven't even started yet. Okay.
saying. But that's the whole, you got to understand, it's a lot. There's a lot of moving pieces to this, and sometimes you don't sleep. Sometimes things that were good yesterday have blown up the next day, and then they're fixed by the end of the day. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a
and
lot.
some things aren't fixed. I mean, the event I just had its, our first one had its trials and tribulations, but this one really put me to the test. And people don't understand, when you're paying and you're coming to your event, you all want the event to be great. I'm paying. There shouldn't be any problems, shouldn't be any issues. But there's things that sometimes we don't even have any control over. Like, let's say Mother Nature feels like, oh, let's just take out the power for the whole building. Or let's just say, let's just say an ice storm blows through for absolutely no reason. But and it's summer. You just don't know what can happen. I'm going to kill him. Go
He's such a distraction.
to the corner, sir. Go to the corner. Him and the rice. He is still on the rice. So anyway, he has a one-track mind. There we go.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't understand what goes on behind. They think things just go like, we just go like this, and or
My name is Bewitched. Samantha.
right, we're gonna wiggle. I'm Tabitha. I can't wiggle, but I can do this. So it doesn't work like that. And even though I'm not into hotel takeovers, I'm just not. That's not my zhush. I'm not going to knock anyone else that does it, but you need to understand the differences between the different types, not only the types of lifestyles that are out there, but the types of events that are being presented. You need to know the differences. And if you don't know the differences, you need to ask questions, because you don't want to show up in a party with an expectation, which we have the wrong expectation, actually. And oh, I paid all this money, and they ain't blah blah, and we ain't do nothing. We ain't do this, we ain't do that, we ain't do that. Okay, did you ask before you went? Did you ask a question? Did you?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't. They don't ask, oh, I heard or I know this is going to be the fire. This is going to be this because of the flyer. And a lot of times the flyer ain't got nothing to do with what's going on at the daggone event. The flyer is a form of advertising. The flyer is to get you there.
Yep.
It's to get you to pay your money. Believe me, whoever is on the flyer ain't going to be there.
Unless I'm on the flyer.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. But, you know.
If we put
right about
ourselves
that.
on the flyer, if we put
You're right
ourselves
about
on the flyer, rest assured we will be there. But yeah, and that's one of the reasons why when I post our events, when I post EEE or anything else that we do, I always lead, and even in conversations with people, I say I host education-based lifestyle events. Yes, we're gonna party. Yes, we're gonna have a good time. Yes, it's gonna be some sexual things going on in the building. It's sex-based, but it's education-led.
Mm-hmm.
It's to help you open your mind to different things outside of who gonna fuck me. It's there to help get you to a better sex life, because just because he got good dick don't mean he fucking you, right?
Well, not only that, but to get you to a better relationship, not just with your partner, but also with yourself.
That part. I agree. And I feel like everything that we did at EEE, this last one, definitely put people in a better perspective and relationship with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That erotic poetry gave self-love.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, the poets were so amazing.
Yeah. It's because that's the kind of stuff that causes you to just sit back and tune in to what's being said and to catch the nuance of the flow of the words. And everybody's style is different, and
the wordplay and the contradiction and the all of that stuff. It gives intellectual sex.
Yeah. Listen, being sapiosexual is sexy.
It's amazing, ain't it? It is amazing.
Sexy. Okay. Listen. Ooh.
I love it over here.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. So we have a term out here, ladies and gentlemen. We have a term out here. So can you please enlighten our listeners? Because we know some of them don't know what sapio doesn't have a clue. They don't have a clue. We all need to enlighten them. That's what we do here.
So to be sapiosexual, it is literally, it's all in the head. You're mentally stimulated sexually. It's not even a touch or whatever. Like the poets are a great example. The words that they put together, they cause your body to respond, and you never have to be touched to have a full-on You don't have to.
I had a couple of mental orgasms thanks to Robert and Hood Rays and Romeo. I had a few mental orgasms, and those are hard to do for me because I'm such a sapiosexual. It takes a lots.
Yeah,
but they all got me there several times during the weekend.
And it is also one of those things where I think you have to let go of everything that you think is what will bring you to orgasm. You have to let go of all of that just so that you can be in the headspace to just tune into the words and allow your body to be washed over by the words. Allow your body to respond to the words. I don't know about you, Purple Rain, but I find that people who are sapiosexual also know how to pleasure themselves. And
yes, ma'am.
Therefore, we are well, you just said it's hard for you, but we are easily able to go to that space with the words.
Well, it's easy for me to go to that space with words, but it has to be a highly intelligent person.
Yeah. Well,
Is
yes.
what I'm
You
saying.
cannot
Like
be running game.
you
You
can't
can't
just
run
talk
game.
to me. You can't just have a regular conversation with me and get my draws or
Right.
get me to have a mental orgasm.
Yes.
There has to
I
be
agree.
some type of I don't know. It's
Connection. How about
yeah, I mean it's connection, but
But
like
it's the use of
so
the
like
word.
example, Hood Race did this one poem over that weekend. And between that poem that got me feeling some type of way, and then us doing the male panel and him explaining how he came to his name and who he is, it just was like, huh, god damn it. Like I could listen to him read poetry all night. I could listen to him have a conversation all night. It was just how his word flow and the way he put his sentences together, whether he was having a regular conversation or even doing poetry, that just connected with me, that took me there.
And I would also, even though she wasn't there, I would put Duchess Cashmere in this category of someone who speaks and it stimulates me. And I would say it's the stimulation is a little different. It is stimulation from the perspective of a woman who is so freely expressing her sexuality that it I feel emboldened in my
Hmm.
wanting to express. And so it also gives some sense of arousal
And
to,
some sense of freedom.
yeah, to want to embody the
I'm gonna have to
words
go
that
look up
she
her.
said.
I'm gonna have to go look her up.
She, when I tell you, her presentation of her poetry also adds to all of that because girlfriend owns every single word that comes out of her mouth, whether it is raunchy, seductive, or just really, really simple. She owns the words. So when she says them, you you feel it and it resonates with you. And so I love that about her poetry. I just, yeah. So it's past my bedtime.
yeah? And we're about to wrap this up,
Because
y'all.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
you about to take me down a rabbit hole with all of that.
Woo! No, no,
I got
no,
you. I feel you.
no, because I got to drive. But we gotta have you back. You know that. Gotta have you
Mhm.
back. Gotta have you back. And we want to thank you so much for joining us tonight on this Memorial weekend holiday. I hope everybody enjoyed the conversation this evening. We've got some great comments and wow, yeah, wordplay is very, very important, and it's a great way to
Hey
communicate
Bear.
with people as well. So tell everybody, tell everybody how to reach out, how to reach you, how they can follow you, what you got going on, and
So we will be at Exotica Miami the last weekend of June. I forget the exact dates, but whatever that last weekend of June is, we will be in Miami for Exotica. Um, you can find me, the best place to find me, even though I am so not on social media, the best place to find me is on social media. And usually that would be Instagram. And I've got two accounts on Instagram. One is Experience Casey. The other is Casey at Night. And I'm on Exotica TV on Wednesdays at 9. And periodically, I actually do my own show, Casey at Night, which is also Wednesdays at 7:30 when I'm feeling like doing it. That's a whole nother story right there. But yeah.
because I feel like it, I want to come back.
I know. I was literally talking to Lorenzo about it today, and I'm like, when I tell you it's a long story, it's a long story. I tried some things, it just wasn't resonating with me. And so I'm trying to get back to the place where I felt, as they said in Love and Basketball, like where I first fell in love
Mhm.
with
Like
Casey at
I retired. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you want to find me on Instagram, especially now that it's the summer, because I spend my summer lounging at the pool, smoking cigars and whatnot. So I post a lot of that on Instagram. So
Okay, y'all. Look. And thank you, Shorty. We had Shorty in here. One of our erotic sisters from the Erotic 7 was in the house tonight. Hey, girl, that's our mama to be. Our mama to be. Can't wait. But we had a good time tonight. We really
We
did.
did. I enjoyed this conversation.
me too. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
And we definitely going to have you back. You got to come back and join us
Yes,
because
ma'am.
we wanted another cigar woman. Yes, another cigar woman. Bear said.
Because he saw my video today of me smoking a cigar on Facebook.
Girl, we can't hear you.
Oh, hold on.
There you are.
There we go. That's the music popping up whenever it kind of knocks me out. But we're going to come back next Monday night. We're going to be right here once again for another marvelous Monday on Juicy Tales Erotic Chat. We start at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, 8:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 for our folks out on the West Coast, and
Love that you a mess.
Barbados. We start at 9:30 as well. So make sure you stick and stay and you come and join us, the ladies of Juicy Tales Erotic Chat, because we'll be back. Remember, enjoy, enlighten, and embrace eroticism. For my beautiful co-host, Miss Purple Rain and Miss Siren, we'd like to once again keep her in your prayers, y'all. Keep her in her prayers, okay? And thank you so much, Miss Goddess, for joining us tonight. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.